doubt. Here is my ultimatum for CM Punk. I've been saying this for the last few months. Defeat The Rock at the Royal Rumble. Come back from this knee injury more effectively than Shawn Michaels came back from several knee injuries in his career. Go on to win your second main event of WrestleMania in a year as WWE Champion. Pretty much get past WrestleMania in 2013, and then I will come on here and put out over this microphone that you are the greatest WWE Champion of all time. Even better than John Bradshaw Layfield, because John Bradshaw Layfield's reign in 2004 as WWE Champion from June of 2004 until April of 2005 was a definitive reign, and it really represented SmackDown efficiently. CM Punk still has a long way to go for the likes of Bret Hart, Hulk Hogan, The Undertaker, The Ultimate Warrior, Randy Savage, and many other WWE legends, in my opinion, despite him passing the lengthy reigns of Hulk Hogan from 91 and Bret Hart of 1994 as WWE Champion, becoming one of the top 4 champions of the last 16 years. He's still got a lot to prove, but this last year for CM Punk has been impressive. Out of the 6 years he's been with WWE approaching his 7th, this has got to be the most impressive year that CM Punk has given us. In past years, he's won honors like the ECW Championship, the Intercontinental title, the World Heavyweight Championship. He's got a main event match in there with The Undertaker where he lost the World Championship, but he went into the Hell in a Cell match with The Undertaker at that year's Hell in a Cell pay-per-view in 2008 as the World Champion. No other top new talented superstar can really say what CM Punk has had the opportunities to say over the last 6 years. His career has definitely defined the personality that CM Punk is. He's still got a lot to prove, and his next big accomplishment, I believe, is defeating The Rock at the Royal Rumble. Now, with the skepticism surrounding CM Punk's injury, there is the rumor that CM Punk will not be defending the WWE Championship against The Rock at the Royal Rumble. Someone else will be in place of CM Punk as the WWE Champion by the Royal Rumble. As I alluded to earlier, I think the approach WWE are going to be taking with CM Punk is they're going to keep him out of the ring. Up until the Royal Rumble, he'll work under the same circumstances as Shawn Michaels from 1998, work at the Royal Rumble rather than WrestleMania, lose the championship to The Rock. The Rock will go on to defend the title against John Cena at WrestleMania 29 for Cena vs. Rock Part 2, and then we're not going to see CM Punk for a while. And the downer about all that, the thing that really upsets me is a couple of rumored matches that I had put in place for CM Punk is CM Punk versus The Undertaker. Those possibilities for CM Punk for a position on the WrestleMania 29 card are basically thrown out the window. I would have loved to have seen CM Punk versus The Undertaker at WrestleMania, because it would have been a different type of match for The Undertaker at WrestleMania as opposed to facing a legend pretty much in the same category as him. I do appreciate what WWE are doing with the streak now that the streak is going to be going to its 21st year of defension from The Undertaker. I have appreciated matches like Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker parts 1 through 2 and The Undertaker versus Triple H parts 1 through 2, especially last year's End of an Era match. I would even go for a third encounter between The Undertaker and Triple H, really a fourth encounter if you include the match they had from 2001, because those matches between The Undertaker and HHH were so fantastic. Definitely a 5-star caliber match on a 5-star scale. But I'd love to see The Undertaker now with years 21, 22, and 23 of the streak's defension coming up, facing superstars like CM Punk and Sheamus. Given how effectively they've represented their respective brands as WWE and World Heavyweight Champions, I'd love to see CM Punk and Sheamus and other top new talented new superstars, even Alberto Del Rio, trying to challenge The Undertaker's streak in a way that has never been traded before. You take somebody the caliber of Alberto Del Rio, you apply his quickness and his technical wrestling ability to the style of The Undertaker, you might get a Kurt Angle Undertaker caliber wrestling match from 2006 at a future WrestleMania. If you had The Undertaker versus Alberto Del Rio, you might get an absolute brawl if you had The Undertaker versus Sheamus at WrestleMania, with Sheamus playing the heel, because nobody you're going to put in the ring against The Undertaker at WrestleMania is going to be a fan favorite as much as The Undertaker, other than Shawn Michaels or Triple H. So I think that that would be great, even if you had to have CM Punk and Sheamus play a heel against The Undertaker. More than likely they would be The Undertaker's latest victim at WrestleMania, but before losing to the Dead Man, they will put up a hell of a fight. I'd love to see internationality represented in streak matches at WrestleMania, which is something we never see enough of. And I think that if CM Punk doesn't have a certain position at WrestleMania, putting him in the ring against The Undertaker, if he's able to compete, given the circumstances he's faced with now, that would be great for CM Punk, because he would get probably even more attention than if he were defending the title at WrestleMania. I'd love to see that. And if CM Punk surpasses The Rock and goes on to WrestleMania, then maybe we will get that three-way between John Cena, The Rock, and CM Punk, which has been something I've been hoping for a while. The Shield pretty much are in place of CM Punk as the WWE Champion at this coming Sunday's TLC pay-per-view. I'm going to be looking forward to finding out what WWE do with the Shield. Having a lot of emphasis on the Shield now is good, but it's also negative in a lot of ways too, because having emphasis on the Shield is good because now you're focusing on creating new stars. So CM Punk being out for a significant amount of time will give new talent initiative stars who are next in line for a push a great deal of emphasis. Ryback will continue to have a great deal of emphasis placed on him in his crusade to become the WWE Champion. And if there is a tournament to determine the next WWE Champion between now and the Royal Rumble in 2013 to determine an opponent for The Rock, Ryback is going to be at the top of the list. I never was a big fan of the Rock versus Ryback rumor for the Royal Rumble, but now with the injury of CM Punk, the chances of seeing the Rock versus Ryback are greater than they've ever been. And even though I never was a big fan of the Rock versus Ryback match because of the novelty of Ryback's character, basically a repackaged Skip Sheffield from NXT Season 1, I would go for that if CM Punk's not going to be able to wrestle at the Royal Rumble, but I hope they preserve CM Punk, they keep him out of the ring and put him in the ring at the Royal Rumble. And if he's going out as WWE Champion after one of the most impressive reigns in years in WWE's over 50-plus year history as the WWE Champion, at least let him wrestle The Rock in a decent match where he puts up one hell of a fight and eventually loses to a succession of moves from The Rock, and then finally gets the rock bottom and loses and puts an end to his WWE Championship run, which has lasted over a year. It's been impressive. CM Punk has been a WWE Champion for over 365 days. No other champion of recency can say that. Bruno Sammartino still holds the record for the longest reigning WWE Champion in WWE history, and he's going to be holding that record until somebody beats it. It's a record I think that will never be beaten, although CM Punk believes he will beat it, well, because he will still be WWE Champion by 2018 and the 355th edition of WWE Main Event. I'm going to be looking forward to finding out what they're going to be doing with the Shield, and it's not very often you hear me say that about new talent initiative stars. Unless you're a CM Punk or a Sheamus, I don't give you enough credit. But I think Seth Rollins, being the leader of this faction, and them saying they're very different from factions like the NWO and the Four Horsemen, you have to have respect for them coming out saying they are nowhere near a comparison to the Four Horsemen or the New World Order. They're saying that they're going to be something more definitive, they're going to be something completely different, and they're going to be more dominant when it's all said and done. The part of that promo during the interview with Michael Cole, which you can see on our Twitter, twitter.com/JonathanClarke1, that I do agree with, is how they're not comparing themselves to the Four Horsemen or the New World Order. And with NWO Revolution now available on DVD and Blu-ray, that is a great way to promote it, honestly. A great punchline, great segue. I think that it's great that they're not comparing themselves to the New World Order and the Four Horsemen, and they don't want to be compared to that. The part of the promo that I don't agree with is that they're going to be something more definitive than the Four Horsemen or the New World Order or something like the Generation X, because they have a long way to go. All the NXT rookies, simply put, have a long way to go. Unless you have a great deal of hype coming over from NXT to Raw and SmackDown, you haven't got a prayer. The NXT rookies have a long way to go, just as the ECW Rebels had a long way to go when they first came back to WWE to promote the resurrection of ECW in 2006. They didn't get very far with it, but they did get noticed by wrestling fans who at one time didn't have an idea as to who they were. A lot of fans became fans of the Sandman who didn't know who the Sandman was years ago, so their fan base has definitely increased. They didn't get as far with ECW as they were hoping to get with ECW. They got a chance to go on tour with SmackDown, which was great for them, and really that was the only benefit for them. They got a better television deal for the short time they were brought back for 4 years in 2006 up until 2010. And the same thing can be said about a lot of the NXT rookies who fall in the same category as the ECW Rebels or ECW Extremists, whatever you want to call them. They have a long way to go. So Seth Rollins and his other two cronies have a lot to prove. And if they can defeat superstars like John Cena and Randy Orton over the next 6 months, I will give them the benefit of the doubt, just as I've been giving to CM Punk. The thing about CM Punk's injury is the knee injuries are always difficult to come back from. You take Shawn Michaels' knee injury back in 1997. They had to have a fatal four-way match about a month before WrestleMania in 1997 to determine a new WWE champion. I don't see them doing this with CM Punk. If they did anything, it would be a single elimination tournament between now and the Royal Rumble to determine a new WWE champion that will be announced by Vince McMahon. But I don't see them doing that. But the thing about knee injuries is knee injuries are very difficult to come back from, and you never come back from an injury like a knee injury 100%. You never come back from a back injury or a neck injury in the same light at 100%, and we have seen that oftentimes with some of WWE's biggest legends over the years. We saw it with Shawn Michaels, we saw it with Stone Cold Steve Austin, we saw it in the way of neck injuries from Sabu and Edge in years past. So CM Punk is going to be no exception, and CM Punk is probably going to be out for even a longer amount of time, because you have to really put into perspective how much CM Punk has been working. It's almost as if he's never had a night off since becoming WWE champion. The promo he cut on Labor Day of this year, where he said he never gets a night off and he was taking the night off, which was basically just a way to set John Cena up for their upcoming match at that year's Night of Champions pay-per-view, which was a match that really went a long way in defining CM Punk's legacy, one of the best matches of the John Cena CM Punk series over the last number of years, was true in a lot of ways, because CM Punk never really did get a night off. He would either be on the show to cut a promo or do commentary, and if he wasn't doing that, he was wrestling in the main event. And apart from that, when